Another week is here, and it is almost new comic book day. That's right, it's almost Wednesday. Well, it's Monday. But we have my top 5, well, it's going to be 6 this week, comic books that you should be checking out at your local comic shop when you go this Wednesday, and that you could probably consider picking up. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, what are you excited for this Wednesday so that I know and I could potentially pick it up. I love having awesome comic conversations with you in the comments. Make sure to follow me on all my social medias. Anyways, you're not here for the YouTuber intro. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into this video, and let's start off with The Amazing Spider-Man number 67. The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man continues with his patron Kytrak attacking the world. Juggernaut won't just sit aside, but he's not a solo act. The X-Men get involved to help Spider-Man save the world, and I am just about over this. 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, I thought, was going to be a nice little 8-issue story arc that was going to get us ready and ship-shaped into the next actual run of Spider-Man. It has been revealed that that is not the case, and this book just will not die. It won't stop with the 8 issues. It's not 8 issues. It's way more than 8 issues. The writer in this issue is Justina Ireland. The penciler inkler is Adria Braccato. Inker Scott Hanna. Colorist Marcio Minez. I don't know any of those writers or artists. Maybe they're great. I'm very, very, very upset with this run. I was very excited. If you watch my first video on this run and the video before it, before the issue had come out, I was very, very stoked to get into this. But oh my gosh, it's just color by numbers, storytelling, and I don't know. I'm just over it. Let's get into something a little bit more exciting. At number 5, we have Ferel issue number 10. This is, of course, by Tony Fleece and Tone Rodriguez with Trish Forstner, and the colorist is Brad Simpson. So this is issue number 10. Trapped like cats, Elise and Lord must put aside their differences to protect Gigi and her kittens from the horrors of the cat lady's creepy old shack deep in the rabies-infested woods. With no food and no way out of this tiny basement, will the cats do the unthinkable to survive? What could that be? What could that be? You won't believe what happens in this thrilling conclusion to the second story arc of this hit series. I've really, really enjoyed Ferel. We have 3 cats, so I am predisposed. Let me know if I'm saying that right in the comments. But I'm stoked. I'm really liking this series. Ferel has been phenomenal. Their alternate, their variant covers with all of the horror movie aesthetics, the shout-outs, the callbacks. I picked them all up, and I've really been liking this series. This is the Fangoria homage variant. This is the one I'm going to be getting. Yeah, I'm really loving Ferel. This series is awesome. It has been everything I've expected it to be. Consider it, if you haven't checked it out, definitely consider picking it up. I believe the first trade is out, but if you've fallen off or anything like that, get the last couple of issues you've missed, because this has been phenomenal, in my opinion. It has not disappointed yet. Next up, we have, in my opinion, one of the very best ongoing series going right now. It's Transformers. This is by Daniel Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona, and Mike Spicer, the triple threat, awesome creative team. Let's read here. As the Titanic clash from the last issue rages on, a covert group of Autobots continues their search for the ally who could turn the tide on Earth. Ultra Magnus, featuring the debut of an all-new character. It feels like every other issue of this series has a brand new character. Well, not brand new character, but a character from the Transformers verse, if you want to call it that, introduced into this series. Daniel Warren Johnson is my favorite writer going right now. Jorge Corona just knows how to draw a comic book. This is Daniel Warren Johnson at his best. He is in his bag in this series. He makes the human characters feel real. He makes, obviously, the Transformer characters very rich and very deep. I really love this series. And again, this is a series, Transformers, the IP Transformers. I have no prior knowledge other than the Michael Bay films. Like, I know who the Transformers are, right? And I know about Megatron and I know about Optimus Prime, but this series has made me become a Transformers fan. I could give a shit about the Transformers before I started reading this series. So shout out to Dana Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer and the team at Skybound, because this has been phenomenal. If you don't like the Transformers or you just have seen the Michael Bay movies, don't let that ruin your perception, because this is hot fire. Moving on to number 3, The Moon is Following Us, issue number 6. This is another Daniel Warren Johnson book. This is Daniel Warren Johnson on writing and partial art, with Riley Marasimo on the rest of the art, with Mike Spicer as his colorist. The Moon is Following Us is yet another phenomenal story and book by Daniel Warren Johnson. All hope is lost, or is it? New nightmares are here to guide whoever may be left in Penny's dangerous dreams. At the end of the last issue, at the end of issue number 5, we saw Penny's nightmares come to try and save the day. That was awesome. If you haven't read that book, I do apologize for the spoiler. But no, it was awesome. I am super stoked. As always, it seems like an evergreen tweet at this point. Daniel Warren Johnson knows how to write characters that you care about. You are emotionally invested in these characters, and it has not changed since book number 1, issue number 1 of this series. The Moon is Following Us is a heartfelt series about two parents that just want to get their kid back, who is kind of trapped in a dreamlike state, and all of her toys are trying to help her parents save them. In the very dream world that has trapped her, her parents are there trying to save her from what is called the Cascade. If you haven't checked out this book yet, the trade isn't out yet, and it's probably unlikely that you could get all 6 issues at this point, because issue number 1 got a ton of, well, you might be able to get a reprint, actually, I guess. So, yeah, check it out, or just wait for the trade, but this series is hot fire. I'm absolutely loving it. One of my favorites of this new year. Moving on to number 2, we've got Absolute Batman, and Absolute Batman issue number 5. Of course, this is by Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, and Frank Martin on the colors. This is, of course, DC Comics All-In Absolute Initiative. Will the party end here for Absolute Batman with his friends' lives at stake? Will a broken, beaten, and ultimately defeated Bruce Wayne finally compromise and give up both sides of himself and the morals to the Black Mask? Or does he have something even bigger than himself to help? And what does this have to do with Mayor James Gordon and his relationship with young Bruce Wayne? Excuse me. All this and more in the penultimate issue of the first arc of Absolute Batman. I have absolutely, no pun intended, maybe pun intended, I've absolutely loved this series so far. It's big, it's stupid, it's fun. Scott Snyder writing a new version of Bruce Wayne with no prior strings attached from the, Prime universe. I'm absolutely loving this. Big old jacked, beefy, absolute Batman. He's massive. Bruce Wayne isn't a billionaire, and it's a really, really cool take on the Caped Crusader so far. I'm really, really loving this series. Let me know, though, are you picking up and enjoying Absolute Batman, almost, we're going 5 months into the series. Is it still keeping up the steam that issue 1, one of the best-selling books, I think, of 2024 was issue number 1 of Absolute. I think it actually was the best-selling. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And at number 1, you probably already know it is One World Under Doom. This is issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. This is a $5.99 comic book for 40 pages. I forgot to say the the price and the amount of pages for the other books. I do apologize for that. But this is by Ryan North, who is writing the Fantastic Four series currently. Absolutely brilliant writer. He wrote Deadpool and Wolverine Extraction either early this year or late last year. I really enjoyed that. I love Ryan North's writing style. He's very witty and very funny. So it'll be interesting to see if he can take his very smart humor, I want to say. He writes these characters in such a way that it feels like home. It feels like, oh, these are the characters I know. And I really enjoyed the way he wrote Deadpool, because it wasn't just a Flanderization of Deadpool, which I think a lot of Deadpool comics are kind of just a watered-down, Flanderized version of Deadpool. He was very funny in that. But talking about One World Under Doom. One World Under Doom, 6 months ago, Dr. Victor Von Doom became Sorcerer Supreme, then disappeared behind Latveria's closed borders. For most, there's enough going on in the world that Doom's absence is not a priority. And some time without him feels like a blessing. Only a few recognize it for what it truly was. The calm before the storm. It is a storm that has now arrived. The world has woken up to a new reality. Dr. Doom, Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, has magically taken over every broadcast medium in the planet and declared himself Emperor of the world, the ruler of the new united Latveria. And shockingly, impossibly, all of Earth's leaders seem to be going along with this. What the heck is happening? Oh, Ryan North, this is going... People are going to hate this comic book. I can already tell just by this little snippet. This might be hitting a little close to home here in the real world, but I am for it. I love a good comic book that, has a little bit of real world something to say about the real world. I'm excited about this. 5,539 looks like people who are saying they're going to put this in their poll. So I'm really excited. One World Under Doom. Dr. Doom, obviously, they're getting ready. They're getting ready for Robert Downey Jr. to make his debut, probably. And as Doom in the MCU. Just want to clear that up. But, yeah. I'm really excited. One World Under Doom. This is going to be awesome. I have full trust in Ryan North. R.B. Silva, the artist, not as familiar with, but hopefully the art is up to the level of North's writing. Alrighty, so there you have it, folks. Those are my pull list this week. I am super stoked for pretty much all of these except for Amazing Spider-Man. Honestly, it'll be a game time decision whether I actually pick that up. I'm just so tired of Amazing Spider-Man books not being good. Can we please just get, even a one-shot at this point? Could there be a good one-shot with Amazing Spider-Man in it? Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Read those comic books. Comment down below what you think about my top 5 list here this week. I am so stoked for One World Under Doom, and of course The Moon is Falling. Those are probably the two I'm most excited about, just because I am super invested in what these stories have to tell. Of course, The Moon is Following Us is, we know what the story is, but I'm super stoked to see how the One World Under Doom gets kicked off. I'm really excited that Ryan North is getting to head such an important series for Marvel, and I hope that he crushes it and gets bigger gigs. So that being said, thank you all so much. Make sure to follow me on all my social media, including League of Comic Book Geeks. I do reviews of some of the books, so sometimes you can see a written review before I review them here on the channel. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And until the next time I see you, be kind to one another. Keep reading those comic books so we can have, we can discuss them. But I appreciate you all. And until the next video, I will catch you all on the flippy flop. Adios, everyone.